Welcome to This Week in the City, where we're talking about property assessment and taxes. In Connecticut, a real estate assessment is equal to 70% of a property's fair market value as established by the tax assessor in a reevaluation year, like this year. Real estate reevaluations are done on a schedule established by state law. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the relationship between property assessment and property tax. For this example, let's say Danbury has only 3 houses. Each house is different and has a different value. The first house has a market value of $200,000. The second house has a value of $250,000. And the third house is valued at $350,000. The city supplies services like roads, fire protection, schools, parks, etc., and the money to pay for these services is recovered through property taxation. Now let's imagine that Danbury needs to collect $1,200 to pay for these services. To calculate the tax rate, you divide the cost to provide services by the total assessed value of all the properties in the town. This establishes a tax rate. To calculate how much tax each home pays, we multiply the tax rate by the assessment. In our example, the first house would pay $300, the second home would pay $375, and the highest value home would pay $525. Now let's imagine that another year has passed and that property values have increased by 4%. Let's say that the cost of providing services has remained the same. The tax rate is the cost of services divided by the total assessment. The cost of services has not changed. The result is that all owners still pay the same amount of taxes as before. As you can see, an assessment increase does not necessarily mean more taxes are collected. And if all assessments go up equally, everyone pays the same as long as the cost of services stays the same. So now let's imagine another year passed and the values did not increase at the same rate. Home number 1 remained the same value at $208,000. Home 2 increased by 1%, totaling $262,600. And home 3 increased 3%, which totaled $374,920. The cost of services stayed the same at $1,200. So $1,200 divided by the new assessment equals the new tax rate. The net effect of the new value sees house number 1 paying less tax and the house that went up 3% paying a higher proportionate share. If all assessments do not go up equally, there's a redistribution of the tax. However, the total tax collected remains the same. You might ask, what happens if the cost of services goes up? Let's do the math. Services now cost $1,400. The result is a different tax rate. An increase in service costs results in a tax increase, but imagine Danbury grew and there's now a 4th house and it was worth $300,000. The new total assessment is now $1,145,520. This results in a new tax rate. The new house now helps pay for the cost of services, and the result is that everyone pays less. Yes, this is a hypothetical example of how the process works, but it shows a few key points. 1, total assessment value is used to calculate tax rates. 2, an increase in property value does not always mean an increase in taxes. 3, new construction helps pay the overall tax burden. 4, taxes are based on the cost of providing services that citizens want and need. Additional information is available on the Danbury Tax Assessor website.